Question number 2, Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. How is Budget 2014, as part of the Government's wider economic programme, helping New Zealanders to get ahead?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, it's been received positively, especially the $500 million support package for families and children. It's helping New Zealanders to get ahead in several ways. For instance, the economy grew by 3.1% in 2013, the fifth highest growth rate in the developed economies. Growth is forecast to reach 4% next year, a far cry from the deep domestic recession that we inherited in 2008. Average wages have increased by $3,000 in the past 2 years, and the average wage is forecast to rise by $7,600 to $62,300 by 2018.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Supplementary to the Minister. How are the benefits of the budget and the Government's wider economic programme being reflected in the labour market, and how do average wage increases compare with cost of living changes?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, in the past year another 84,000 jobs were created across New Zealand, and Treasury forecasts 172,000 jobs being created over the next 4 years. As some members of the House will recall, or as that member recalls, Budget 2011 did in fact forecast 171,000 jobs to be added to the economy by mid-2014, and that member will be pleased to know that we are exactly on track to achieve 171,000 jobs as forecast in Budget 2011. These new jobs will help bring unemployment down to 4.4%, according to Treasury forecasts. Low cost of living increases are, of course, helping. Inflation was just 1.5% in the year to March, and the average weekly wage increased by 3.2% in the same period.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, the Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Supplementary to the Minister. How have the budget and the Government's wider economic programme helped to address the twin fiscal and current account deficits this Government inherited 6 years ago?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, when the Government came to office, the previous Government's final budget set a course for a $3.9 billion deficit in 2008-9, and the current account deficit was running at record levels of between 7% and 8%, having doubled over the previous 9 years. Budget 2014 confirmed the Government is on track to a small fiscal surplus next year, and increasing surpluses to follow on, and the current account deficit has fallen to 3.4% from 7 to 8% of GDP, and is forecast to fall further over the coming year before extending after that.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David Parker.
Does he agree with the NZIER and the Treasury that on his economic settings, the current account deficit will blow out to more than 6% of GDP by 2017, according to the Treasury, and to more than 7% by 2018, according to NZIER, close to $20 billion? Or NZIER and the Treasury wrong?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, on recent forecasting history, yes, they probably are wrong, because over the last 4 years, they've been forecasting that deterioration for the last 4 years, and it hasn't occurred. The current account is currently 3.4% in deficit. I think forecasts in 2010 had it at 7% by now. But actually, we don't follow the same policy settings as the previous Government that blew out the current account deficit, and it's likely to be that it certainly won't go back to record levels as it did under Labor.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Well then, does he agree with the NZIER in their recent report that, quotes, the current boosts to growth are from a post-drought rebound in farming, acceleration in the Canterbury rebuild, and net migration? All of these are likely to fade from next year, close quotes.
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the Government has been saying exactly the same, and that is why we have focused on lifting the long-term supply capacity of this economy, particularly through the wide range of policy initiatives in the business growth agenda. all of which are building confidence in businesses to invest for future growth and create more jobs, and we're pretty pleased with progress on that.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Supplementary to the Minister. How are the budget and the government's wider program helping to keep interest rates lower for longer? And what reports has the Minister received suggesting more New Zealanders are supporting its program?
Well,
Honourable Bill English, in as far as there is
Mr. Speaker, the government is going to keep interest rates lower for longer by first constraining its own spending. If government spending blew out now, interest rates would be pushed higher. And secondly, by focusing on influencing councils in their decisions about the housing market to ensure there is more supply of more houses. In answer to the second part of the question, data from Statistics New Zealand shows that more New Zealanders are voting with their feet and coming home or staying home. There was a net loss of only 200 migrants to Australia in April, the lowest since the series began in 1996.
Question number 3, Honourable David Cunliffe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Talofa lava and soifua. Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister, does he stand by